Here's a quick one, a story that's become quite controversial and quite a subject that's been debated heavily in the comments section of Reddit, given what this guy does. All about a guy who kicks his girlfriend or fiancée to the curb after finding out that she claimed that she was entitled to all his resources and all that after being with him. Titled, Am I the a-hole for walking away from my engagement after my fiancée expressed that she just deserved it for security? And a shout out to Todd for sending me the story. It says, I was with my ex-fiancée Carla, a 34-year-old female, for 7 years, engaged for 5 months. We have a toddler together and have been living as a family, but now everything has fallen apart and I'm struggling to make sense of it. From the start, I was honest with Carla about my lukewarm feelings towards marriage. Growing up in a broken home, raised by grandparents after my parents' relationship turned toxic, I didn't see marriage as something essential. I told Carla early on that I wasn't sure if I'd ever get married, but she made it clear that marriage was a deal breaker for her. She said if I didn't change my mind, she would walk away. First paragraph. Abundantly clear, clear as day, laying the cards on the table. I'm not interested in marriage. No confusion. And she said, marriage is a deal breaker. Well, they should have broken up. And yet, she stayed with him, even though he's abundantly clear. And frankly, when you hear, if you don't want to get married, guys, it's your business. If a girl says it's a deal breaker for her, then you should just break up to save drama and time. But anyhow, she stayed. Her choice, she knew. But she didn't leave. Instead, Carla stayed, hoping to wear me down and get the proposal that she wanted. You know how the story is old as time. I've known women that have done this with guys and made it clear they want to get married. I have one friend in particular. I only have a couple women I consider friends. This is one of them. She was with a guy for years and years. And we told her, he's a cool guy, but he's not marriage material. You're wasting your time. Nope. Should change his mind. Guess what? She hadn't changed his mind. And eventually they parted ways. And to this day, she still blames him for wasting her time, even though he told her, not interested. Anyway. Over the years, her desperation for marriage grew. There were good moments between us, but her constant need for external validation wore on me. I was never fully sure she was the one, but I loved her enough to keep going. Maybe I stayed because I was afraid of ending up alone, thinking this was just how relationships were. Smack! Don't be a man-giant and say you're afraid of ending up alone. Do you know how many guys out there as happy as a pig in crap that they're alone, knowing what is out there? Guys, you can never truly be in a good place as a man if you have to be with someone. Because guys that have to be with someone that can't be alone make poor choices on who they spend their time with. Trust me on this. And the one, there's no such thing as the one. There can be a lot of people in this world you can click with. One memory that stands out was my sister's wedding. Instead of enjoying the celebration, I spent most of the event comforting Carla, who was in tears, that she wasn't the one getting married. Boo-hoo. He told her early on, not interested in marriage. Bro, you should have broken up with her. That's my only problem with this. Moments like that made me doubt if we'd ever be happy together. It felt like her desire to get married was more about ticking a box than building something real with me. Ding, ding, ding. All gals eventually is key word here, want their magical day. They want to walk down the aisle, have all the eyes on them, have the pictures, have the dress, blah, blah, blah. Doing the Macarena on the dance floor, the ring. I don't care what they say. And guess what? Most of the time, it ain't about the guy they're marrying. Things took a major turn when Carla got pregnant, despite us using condoms. Huh, what a surprise. Gee, well, must have been just a miracle. No, she did that on purpose. I was blindsided, but eventually warmed to the idea of becoming a dad. However, my feelings for Carla never deepened the way I hoped. Therapy helped me shift my perspective a bit, encouraged me to focus on the good in her. She's ambitious, smart, and did care about my feedback, even though it often felt like she thrived on my approval. Thrived on your approval. So you were like the bad boy whose approval she was seeking and trying to chase, the guy that she couldn't lock down. I'm sure your girl's pretty and had other guys that are interested in her. She didn't want them. She wanted the guy she couldn't have. The challenge. I started to appreciate the way she supported me emotionally, like helped me finish my master's degree and working through some of her own personal trauma. So you're trying to force yourself to fall in love with her. It doesn't work that way. Eventually, I convinced myself that proposing made sense logically. Smack! It's not what you wanted to do. It's stupid. I figured she's the mother of my child. She's been through everything. Why not? So I proposed, and she was ecstatic. Even though the ring was only $600, she proudly showed it off like it was a treasure. Okay, well, that's good. That's a sign. I'll give her that. A lot of women bitch and complain if it isn't $20,000. For a moment, I thought maybe things could work out after all. But then the truth hit me like a freight train. A mutual friend told me that Carla admitted during a drunken conversation that she no longer loved me. She just wanted the marriage for financial security. After giving me her youth and having a child with me, she felt she deserved it. She was afraid to start over. Giving him her youth, he made it clear from the get-go he didn't want to get married. She chose to stay with him. Okay? No, this wasn't under duress. She wasn't forced. He should have broken up with her knowing that she wanted to get married. He didn't, but still. And had a child with him, and they always use protection. I think she had something to do with that. Hearing that gutted me. I never misled her about my views on marriage. If she stayed, it was her choice. Hoping I'd changed my mind. But now it feels like she stayed with for the wrong reasons. And that betrayed stings. I feel used and taken advantage of. Well, the whole comment section is full of people, full of women saying that he took advantage of her. That he led her on. Yeah, I heard the guy tell her many times. When I confronted her, she fell apart, crying hysterically and saying she didn't mean what she said. But it was too late. Something inside me had already shifted. I realized I couldn't stay with someone who only saw me as a safety net. I told her it was over. She called me every name in the book, but I was done. Good. Can't marry someone who doesn't love you. And anybody says, oh, she was drunk. Or, oh, she didn't mean it. Or, oh, she was venting, because that's what girls do. Guess what? I have found that when people drink, what they say and do is a true reflection, an amplified reflection, but a true reflection on what they're really thinking or feeling. She kept the engagement ring. I tried asking for it back, but honestly, I do not care. What matters now is protecting myself and planning for the future. I'm focused on securing custody of our child since I have a stable income, and she's currently not working, though she plans to re-enter the workforce soon. Still, this whole experience feels surreal. At least I'm losing half my property. I'll admit, I should feel grateful for that, and logically I do. However, it's hard to access the gratitude when everything feels so hollow. How do I move forward from here? You move forward by taking it one day at a time. And when you eventually start getting involved with women again, and you will, when you make it clear that you don't want to get married or have any other kids, and they say they want to get married and have kids, break up right then and there. You don't waste your time. That's my only beef with this guy. But then again, he did tell her. And here's the thing, guys, and let's remember this, and I'm sure some of you guys may have experienced this. When a guy doesn't want to get married or have kids, and the woman acts like she's all cool with that, it's a strong possibility she's just saying that thinking she'll change your mind, wear you down. He doesn't mean it. No, yeah, he means it. Or try other tactics to get you to cave. In an accident, she got pregnant. So, while the whole comment section is people hating on him and yelling at him and all that, and he's such a jerk and an a-hole and wasted her time, he made it clear from the get-go. And no, he can't marry her knowing full well she doesn't love him and she feels she deserves it. No, bullshit. She's a grown-ass woman. Unless she has the mental capacity of a child and can't think rationally or logically or something like that, which is not the case because he said she's intelligent, then it's on her. But again, it comes back to personal responsibility. I just think there's a lot of bitter women in the comments section that maybe been with guys like that and that hate guys like that, and they want to, instead of accepting they made mistakes and they try to change a guy that wasn't changeable, they want to hate on this guy. That's my theory, but I could be wrong. Anyhow, he did the right thing.